welcome to a Watch Me Draw commentary. You watch me draw, I commentate on top of it. Today we are drawing the Co-Optional Podcast. This is a podcast consisting of Total Biscuit, Jesse Cox, and Press Hard to Continue's Dodger. This is actually the second time I drew Dodger. And so the idea kind of spurred from this whole... they have webcams on their podcast. They post their podcasts on... They do it live stream, and then they post it on YouTube. And so they have, like, webcams. There's 4 of them. There's usually a 4th host. And it really inspired me from... not inspired me. It really kind of got me thinking about, like, action animes where they used to split the screen and have, like, everyone's different reactions. And then that kind of spawned it on to Power Rangers or Voltron. More so Power Rangers because I'm familiar with it. And, you know, I thought it'd be really cool to throw these guys into kind of a Megazord of sorts and then have each one of them react to the situation in their own way. So, like, Jesse Cox here is a little bit more jokester out of the set. Like, compared to, like, Total Biscuit, he's totally the goofball one, while Total Biscuit's more of the straight man, and Dodger's just kind of the goofy one as well. So I figured if this was a series or an animation where they weren't actually just talking about video games but, like, doing action stuff, Jesse would definitely be the goofball one, Total Biscuit would be the straight man, and Dodger would just kind of like loop, like just kind of, you know, it would be the girl of the series, if you know what I mean, with the tropes, and then would just kind of like be partnered with Jesse with kind of, you know, they would be the foils, and they would be what causes the conflict within the series and show. And so here's Jesse being a goofy one, you know, driving with his feet, not really caring too much, you know, kind of talking instead of, you know, really worrying about the battle. You have Dodger over here with cats, some coffee. She's eating something. I didn't draw any, like, what she's eating because I felt like her thing was already kind of cluttered with all the cats. Because I have 2 of them. I guess I could have took out one of them, but I really like the one in the foreground, and it didn't make sense to leave out the other one. Her cats are named, like, Sherlock and Watson off the BBC series. And then I got Total Biscuit over here actually being serious about the battle in hand, you know, being full force, pushing through these levers to make the robot go, you know, forward or something. I imagine he's controlling the feet while the other 2 are controlling the arms or something. And so, Total Biscuit gave me the most, out of the set. Like, the other 2 are like 3/4 view. And I'm really accustomed to drawing that. I've been working in Flash for so long, and you kind of get trained to draw 3/4 view for everything because it's kind of that catch-all. Think of like The Simpsons. How often do you see them looking forward or looking sideways? They're usually in 3/4 view. It's just a way to make things appealing. And so, like, I'm not really that great at, like, drawing drawing the character, like, symmetrically. I usually just draw half of it and then flip it and then just correct the middle. And so, Total Biscuit gave me the biggest trouble inking him just because of, you know, how difficult that pose was. In fact, I drew a really good one on paper, and I wanted to start this as a paper drawing and then bring it into Photoshop. But I get a lot of comments going, why don't you just do it all in Photoshop, or why don't you record your process? And I don't really have I have a camera, but I don't have a rig to set up to where the camera can see it, and I don't want to draw sideways. That seems odd. So I just kind of, I'll just redraw it. And there is some different changes here and there. So for the art style with this one, I wanted it to look like Saber-Tooth Tiger's arts, like what he does for their intro and what he does for their animated series part. But I also wanted to make it kind of my own thing. So Dodger, instead of having perfectly round eyes like the rest of the characters, I decided to give her more of the cliched Disney female eyes, so they're kind of curved a little bit more. I gave Jesse Cox less of a circles, like... in the intro, he has more of the shape that I'm drawing here, but in the animated series, he's progressively got more circle face, where it's just a circle with, you know, details thrown on top of it, and I didn't like that. I prefer having a unique face. And then Total Biscuit, I did not like, with his hat kind of threw me off. Something about the perspective, how I wanted him leaning and how the hat should be would cover up his face, so I did some artistic licensing there. In fact, I have a really good solid drawing. If you check my Instagram, you can see it, and of him without the hat, and how my designs look different from the animated series part. But yeah, so like I guess how to describe the art style for this, since it is very much on model with a couple of changes according to myself. It's kind of like a comic book adaptation. Like, have you ever seen like the Bob's Burgers or the My Little Pony comic? No brony here. It's gotten to a point where I have to like, I'm not a brony. But no, like the My Little Pony comic, or just Bob's Burgers and stuff. They definitely have the art style, or like Darkwing Duck. That's a better example. They have the art style of the original series, but they're very much different in how they go about it. Like a lot of the comics usually have thicker or more outlines or thicker outlines, or like in the case of like shows that have like colored outlines. When I see the comic book adaptation, a lot of times the comic book lines are just inked, and so they're just completely black. And so it looks like the original series. It looks like it, but it also looks off in the same time. Like maybe the casual viewer might not be able to be like, oh, this is a different drawer or a different artist or something. Instead, but someone that does draw and pays attention to art style, you'd be a little bit more like, oh, they changed something. Oh, or this is a little bit different. A different artist drew this. And so that's what's going with this. The colors I sampled directly from the animated series, just because I wanted to keep it true to it. And I was actually kind of shocked about like how much the colors are reused per turn each model. So, for example, Jesse's model, his orange for his hair and for his beard is the same orange used for Dodger's hat, fox suit thing. Jesse's shirt is the same color used for Dodger's hair or Total Biscuit's hat and tie. And that was just very interesting. What's really cool about this, though, is that the artist chose to make the background originally blue, and so did I, obviously. But that's really, really smart, just because of how well it pops. And if anyone knows color theory, or just basic color theory, that orange and blue are complementary colors. What that basically means is they're on the opposite of the color wheels, and they're very contrasting. Because they're so opposite of each other, they tend to pop really, really well next to each other. So you'll see a lot of designs that use complementary colors to really highlight certain things. So like orange and blue gets used a lot, red and green used a lot, yellow and purple. Oh, there we go. Crash. Photoshop crashed on me, so I had to redo background stuff. And sometimes if like Photoshop crashes on me, I'll just, I'm gonna go work on another section and then come back to the previous one. Otherwise, I feel like I tend to rush things. I'm like, I don't want to do this again. Remember to save often. You can see in the left hand, right hand corner. So the the left hand corner, you can see where I haven't saved the actual piece yet. It's still untitled, recovered. I might have. Did I? No, I did not save it yet. I saved it at the end because I'm a genius. Remember to save often, kids. So with complementary colors, they're used a lot. Christmas colors, green and red, just kind of happen to be complementary colors. The background itself reminds me a lot of Dexter's Laboratory. That's because it's monochromatic, and basically monochromatic is you use one color and then you use tints and shades of that color, and that's what it's all made up of. So basically every color of the background is a shade of blue, and that's really helpful if you want to make your characters pop. And so with this one, I kind of created rules within this. Anything in the foreground gets an outline. Anything in front of the main characters, like, so the characters themselves are drawn with like I think 15 pixel size brush, but then the foreground, like the fronts and their hands, if they're above it, like Total Biscuits, they increase to a 25 pixel base, and that just gives it a slight perspective. And then anything in the background, like the chairs or just items like the computer screen and such, they get no color. They get, they're monochromatic and they get no outline. So, you'll see me start shading soon. Oh, this is a paper texture, by the way. So I just kind of took a paper texture and I color burned it. I wasn't really sure which layer blend I was going to do. By the way, layer blend is color burn. That's what I meant. I just wanted to make it pop a little bit more and make the characters and the foreground items, stand out a little bit more. So it's like, oh, if it's not textured, it's not part of the background. It's one of those, context clue type of things. So for the shading here, I just took one layer above it, switched to the blending mode to multiply, so it kind of darkens. It like see-through but darkens the original drawing, and I kind of use different shades. So like for purple, for red, I use kind of a purple tone to get it, the certain shade. For blacks, I use kind of this like grayed out green. And for, skin tone, I use kind of a pinkish skin tone thing. And how it blends into the original one. It gives you kind of this orange look, which looks pretty solid with these type of drawings. And same thing for the white. I used kind of a reddish gray, and so that's the whole piece. I kind of lose track of myself. Hope you guys enjoyed the commentaries, me talking about it. There was no fun stories this time around, but hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a comment down below if you want to see me draw. Apparently you guys want to see Markiplier. Someone should say Shovel Knight, because I really want to draw Shovel Knight, and I like to have the comments pop up in the beginning. But anyways, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next week.